Bitcoin makes your life easier if you let it make your life easier. I'm gonna, and then you know how, so if you watch this channel for a long time, sometimes I give this like random meta rambling intros and then kind of hit the topic of the video. And today, like, I can't shake that at all because sometimes I feel like there's so much to say and nothing to say at the same time. And that's the opposite of what you want in like a YouTube, like crisp intro. Like you want a clear, concise thing. But today I don't have a clear, concise thing. I have a list of things. Okay. And so this is everything that's spiraling in my mind that I'm commenting on. Okay. Talking about Trump versus Elon and their discussion on Twitter. I'm talking about the Mountainhead movie on HBO Max. I'm talking about the LA protests that have been going on. I'm talking about the Black Mirror on Netflix as well. Only watched the first episode of the newest season, and there's all this thing that like Bitcoin fixes this. Bitcoin fixes this. Like, what is Black Mirror about? Black Mirror is about inflation and the bad downstream effects of inflation and people being stressed out and having to do more and more like sad things for money, right? What's the Mountainhead movie about on HBO Max? It's about how removed billionaires are from the protests and strife happening in the world, right? But then what was happening in LA? Like protests. People are protesting things. They're protesting things. What was Trump and Elon talking about? Trump and Elon effectively at the very bottom of it are talking about how fiat money has caused there's too many broken promises. Like what is politics? What is politics? There's too many unbroken promises. There's too many broken promises. Sorry. There's too many broken promises that don't have a political solution. There's no way to untangle all of the promises to make everyone happy. Some people have been like promised things that won't happen, that actively won't happen, right? In politics, so much of it in the United States is it's just managing like again these like this is too boilerplate. I want to push beyond boilerplate, but I have to say the boilerplate version first. It's like scarce resources, right? Like we believe that there's scarce resources, so we're constantly trying to divvy them up and divvying up and divvying up. But then the rules for it get more and more complex, more and more complex. That's effectively what it's all about. And so the big beautiful bill, like there's just no, it just is what it is. It just continues to grow in complexity, continues to grow in size. Fiat money causes a lot of that, right? And so Bitcoin fixes this. It does. But then, as Bitcoin does, it pushes you into a lot of like deeper philosophy, and it really comes down to this thing. And this has been a thing in Bitcoin for a while, but it's like this thing of, does it actually fix all of it? Does Bitcoin actually fix all of it? I've always been on the side that like even for the sake of the exercise, but also like I pretty believe it. Like yes, like Bitcoin solves the societal problems all the way. Like I would still, for the sake of the video, for the sake of any discussion, still say that like Bitcoin solves everything like about society because it solves the ability for who uses money. Everyone uses money. What's money used for? It's a technology to help people coordinate, to help people know where to place their value in order to all live cohesively together, right? But then I think so then that's what leads to kind of pushing for this whole thing of, well, then how do you fix yourself? How do you fix yourself, right? And that is where I titled today's video of Bitcoin makes life easier if you let it, like if you let it fix yourself. And I think a lot of people that have been saving diligently in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been their path to financial freedom, you're beginning to taste what feeling post money looks like. And again, maybe not in some grand way, but truly, in like a truly day to day, like the pressingness of time, the pressingness of a Monday is for sure less when Bitcoin is your money instead of fiat. And that's when I think when I look back at this list and you think about all your friends and you think about things happening in the world and you're like, a lot of your frustrations would be solved if you didn't have the pressingness of the fiat money being bad. If you had the ability to own like assets and own something that gave you a little like financial distance between the frustration of the broken promises, right? That's what happens. Like when you choose to use Bitcoin instead of dollars, there's now a little bit of a barrier. There's a little bit of distance between, I'm going to be transparent about it, between caring about the broken promises, kind of, which is so different because, again, as you watch the channel a lot, like I grew up caring about those things. I grew up like thinking about political campaigns in the very like traditional sense of if you just organize the right amount of people and vote the exact right way, you can fix the pockets of things and help the stuff, right? Coming out of student council, getting into adult politics. That's the reason why, like, and again, I guess to continue just kind of the list of things for today, religion and Christianity kind of teaches that same thing. Well, if everyone kind of if you understand all this stuff, like then that's what will like solve it all, right? That's what's so unique about Bitcoin is that like Bitcoin actually works for solving the complex interweaving of everything going on in the world. Trump versus Elon. There's a lot of like personal ego there, right? Which is not bad. Saying that just in a completely neutral way. Like both those guys are very extremely powerful, right? Neither of them have the ability to fully so they can use the political system to try to again solve things and solve things and solve things and try to solve the puzzle for everyone. What would actually solve the puzzle is by every single individual all the way down to the small steady level getting some distance between the decisions of everything going on there impacting them. Why do people feel like they have to live in the United States? Because the local currency is worse than the United States currency. Hyper generalized in there, but that's a part of it. That's a large contributing factor of it. Why is it hard to find jobs in some other areas? Because the currency isn't good. So then the complex political problems there are even more complex than the ones in the United States are, right? So Bitcoin can make life easier if you let it. If you let it. And it kind of is that thing, like, a lot of people talk about like privilege, right? Like, oh, some people are more privileged. Some people have a better leg up. Some people have a better starting point, right? And so that's where all the kind of like hard work exercises kind of like break down, right? Because it's not. If you work hard, you no, like life is not linear. Life is definitely not linear. People, some people don't have access to exponential leverage and things like that, right? The fiat system, in order to get leverage, you have to already have money. In order to qualify for loans, you have to have money. Banks lend to people that don't need the money. Banks don't lend to people that don't need the money. So in order to get leverage, that's what creates a lot of that. Bitcoin, okay, so why does Bitcoin fix this? Why does Bitcoin fix that? Because anyone can now own the leverage. AI. Why is AI actually genuinely helpful to people? Because now anyone can get the leverage. You can find out information faster. You can. But what do you have to do? But then again, who uses the AI tools the best? The people that have gotten distance from needing to like feeling like they're on the hamster wheel, right? Having a second to yourself to be able to think, what can I actually type into this box? Push yourself on that. Actually, push yourself on that. Actually, I'll copy paste a tweet or a prompt that I found today from Ali Abdel, another YouTuber. We'll just copy paste it there for people to type this in, and you can use ChatGPT to push your brain in new directions, but you have to have space in order to think more creatively, not just use it like a Google search box. Okay, push yourself on that. Bitcoin gives you leverage. It gives you leverage. Owning $10 of Bitcoin is owning the leverage. You're owning the leverage because all of the value of the world, everything divided by 21 million, is being anchored to that measuring stick now. When you own $10, the leverage has already been stripped out of it. It's just, yeah, it's nothing. It's just numbers. That's just numbers that can be manipulated by, again, other people that have more access to manipulating the numbers. So your leverage on owning just $10 of USD has already been stripped out. You need to get access to leverage. You need to get access to something that's compounding. So you get access to money that is compounding, that gives you space from the hamster wheel. And then that gives you space to begin to let your life get easier. Let your life get easier. Receive that. Receive that your life can be easier. And I think that's a message to people that have been stacking Bitcoin for a long time. You did it. You did it. You upgraded your money. You upgraded your money. You're beginning to taste what it feels like to have more distance from the hamster wheel. Your heart is probably a little bit behind. Your brain is probably a little bit behind. That's the highest leverage thing you can do now, is fix that. Bitcoin makes your life easier if you let it.